Hi friends. So today I thought maybe we could talk about what is your number one goal in life? Have you ever asked yourself that question? I'm sure you have. I have. What is my number one goal in life? Here's this thing about the time that we're spending alone or with our spouses or with other family members. We have this very strange, different, scary, but unique opportunity in our lives to ponder the big questions like, what is my number one goal in life? We're always complaining about how busy we are and how we'd like to read that book or spend more time praying or get closer to our family members or pick up the Bible or just, any number of objections that we have for not slowing down. But now, in a very real way, forced upon us, not something that we chose, not something that we even want, we're caused to slow down. And so this can be that unique opportunity in our lives to ask that question. What is my number one goal in life? I ask that question because, St. Thomas Aquinas, he talks about prudence. And he defines prudence in a way that I really never had thought. He said that prudence is looking at the end of your life and determining where you want it to be. And then based upon where you want your life to be, then coming back to the present and making decisions and taking actions and putting into place a lifestyle that will help you accomplish that goal that you want to achieve by the end of your life. That's being a prudent person. I really like that definition. So talk to yourself, talk to God, take some time to think and to ponder and to contemplate and bring it into the context of prayer. What is my number one goal in life? Ask God that. God, what is the number one goal in life that you have for me? For me. Because see, He has a goal for you. And I don't really think that we're ever going to discover what my goal is, your goal is, unless you ask the one who created you. And when He created you, had a goal for you. So how to do that? When I was in seminary, I remember that we went on retreats. And when I was on retreats, I had like these type of experiences where we go away for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, 8 days. And we had retreat masters who would ask these very questions of us, like, what is your goal in life? I mean, and it would seem obvious to a seminarian who was studying to be priesthood that the goal was to be a priest. But remember that in seminary, by the time I went through seminary, about half of the guys that I was in seminary with discerned out. And the other half went on to become priests. So it wasn't obvious. It isn't obvious to you and I. But I think it is to God. And ultimately, let me give you this clue. His number one goal for you in life is to get you to Him for all of eternity in heaven. And if that's really what you want, then this is that time. For me, when I was in seminary, and when I was on those retreats, I wanted, my number one goal wasn't to become a priest. My number one goal was to be with God forever in heaven. And what I figured out was the best way that God had created me to get to Him in heaven. And the best way that I could get to heaven was to become a priest. So the lifestyle that we live and the relationships that we have, those are means by which we accomplish God's number one goal for us and our number one goal for ourselves. Because that is the goal, right? To get to heaven And I can't think of any other goal that's more important than that. So we have then this retreat at home opportunity to ask ourselves, what is our number one goal? And then, how am I going to live my life in such a way that I'm going to be able to get to heaven? Like, how am I going to live my life as a single person? You may not be single forever, or you may be single forever. That'll get me to heaven. How am I going to live my life in such a way that I'm going to be a husband or a wife, and by being a husband and a wife, I'm going to get myself to heaven, and I'm going to get my wife or my husband to heaven? And how am I going to live my life in such a way that I'm going to be able to get my children to heaven, or my parents to heaven, or my brother and sister to heaven? The people that we profess to love the most, my best friend, my girlfriend, my fiancé. Because that's our number one goal in life, is to get to heaven, and along the way to get to so many others that God has placed in our lives to heaven also. So, I mean, we can complain against this sequestered time and have all kinds of thoughts about its value or its destructiveness. We could spend this month or whatever it's going to be not in a retreat, but in anger or in fear. Or we can take this opportunity to retreat and to go into that retreat. And into that retreat, ask ourselves these questions. What is my number one goal in life? And follow that path of prudence. Look out and see where you want to be at the end of your life. And then take this time to situate your life in such a way, in prayer and action and relationships and in your goals, here and now, to make sure that that number one goal is accomplished forever, for you and all those that you're with. Don't waste this time. I'll see you, friends.